Hey everybody, Tyler with Bedford Camera and Video. In the studio I have Ryan with Rode Microphones again. We're glad to have him. Ryan's going to talk to us about how to use a microphone outdoors and what's something that would be highly useful for some of these types of microphones.
Absolutely. So many of the microphones that we're talking about here are condenser microphones, and they're very sensitive to everything you put into them. And so when you step outside, the first thing you're going to want to introduce into your microphone is actually an external product called a windjammer. Right? So that's the WS9 for the video micro, and that would be adding foam and fur so that the energy of the wind is actually decreased one step at a time. So one thing that people actually misconstrue with windjammers is that it's kind of a stair step, right? We're in a studio, no wind, and maybe it's not mobile. Then you could actually have the microphone just as the micro is right now. You can actually have it without anything. It's not moving and there's no wind in the environment, right? Then you step that up to foam. That's usually when you're on camera indoors but moving, right? That foam is a little bit of absorption, just so that when movement and wind is created from that, it has enough, it can cancel out that pressure just a little bit enough to where it doesn't get into that sensitive microphone. But then you get outside and all of a sudden the wind is way more energized here in Arkansas or Oklahoma. It's extreme, right? And so then you get into the fur, that's gonna actually what's called diffraction. It's gonna split the energy and then the foam is inside of there still. It absorbs that energy and then by the time it gets to that capsule, it's actually been reduced to almost nothing. So you can't get rid of everything entirely, but every little bit is going to help you. But as soon as you step outside into wind, highly, highly recommend fur, and something like the WS9 will get you there.
We want you to hear this difference. So we're going to step outside and we're going to show you the difference between having it on and then having it off and showing you the difference in sound quality and how that works. So we're outside and it's pretty windy. We're next to a busy street. You may see some cars behind us. And this is our only microphone. We've taken our lapel mics off and this is it. This is all we have. Ryan?
Yeah, so if you're doing like an interview or otherwise and you're actually out here doing this exact kind of setup, so we got the micro windjammer on, WS9, and then into a wireless Go 2 transmitter so that we can wirelessly then transmit to the camera. Now we got a nice portable rig, and you'd hate for that to be ruined because the wind was destroying everything we were saying right now. So with the windjammer on, we can have this conversation. With the wireless, we're now distanced from the camera, and then hopefully everything as it comes and rushing through here, other than cars and us talking, will be perfectly acceptable in the audio.
I'm going to take this WS9 off and just show you what that's going to sound like. We're going to still talk here. Oops. It's on there
Pretty well?
pretty well.
We got it under the locking group.
There we go.
Yeah.
Got in that locking group. So this is without the windjammer on, and you're probably hearing quite a bit of the wind has kind of started to die down a little bit.
It does. It's Murphy's Law.
Exactly.
As soon as you try to do that.
A car coming near us, but the wind is going to pick up again. But you know, this is a very useful piece of gear. I'm sure the wind's going to pick up here in just a second, and you'll see how unusable this is going to be.
Exactly. So one of the things too is that the capsule, just like that polar pattern as we were talking about, even if you try to place this microphone, so the wind is now picking up a little bit, and so with that wind coming over my shoulder and into this capsule, it's going to be a lot stronger into that as well.